is the crown.
Yo, welcome back to another I Am Heavy Cash podcast. You already know it's the dawn. Heavy on the mic, ready to drop all this knowledge, all this heavy grind for your mind. Check it out. We're going to talk about on this podcast today the money moves in music. Specifically, the money moves in hip-hop. All right, now everybody knows. You know how I like to just jump right into it, so excuse me if I just started talking, you wasn't ready. Get out your pen and your paper, however you listen to I Am Heavy Cash, because we jumping right on. Everybody knows that in hip-hop, there is a ton of money spoken about in hip-hop. That's what hip-hop is. I think money is spoken about more in hip-hop than any other genre of music. Or other genres talk about love, or if it's rock, they be screaming, ah! They be screaming and stuff. Or, you know, if it's, well, I don't know about the Hispanic stuff, because I can't understand what they're saying, you know, but even in French hip-hop and Canadian hip-hop and Japanese hip-hop, they're talking about bread, all right? Everybody's talking about money. That's just something that's spoken about in hip-hop. You know, T-Pain, I think he was an R&B singer, rapper / dancer, you know, it ain't tricking if you got it. Okay, so today, let's pretend like none of us have it like that, all right? And even there's a couple things spoken about in hip-hop. Even going to the strip club, and you know you spend money in the strip club, so that's another way of talking about bread in hip-hop. But going to the strip club and making quality marriage material out of these working young ladies. Let's pretend that we don't do that either. Okay, let's just pretend that we're not doing that. Let's just pretend all we hear is about the money. Okay, one of my favorites, Big Crit. He's talking about buying cutlass, making sure the candy paint is right. You know, while he's swinging and blades dragging. Or I don't even understand what some of that stuff means. I'm sorry, I'm from New York. You know, I'm from the city. I don't know what the choppers swinging and scraping. I don't know. But hey, it sounds like money to me. You had to buy the car. I hope the choppers and the blades are replaceable. I hope. I'm thinking the blades are the grips. I got to move on. I got to move forward because I'm confused myself and I don't want to confuse you too. So maybe that's what he means when he's talking about that stuff. So I'm going to assume that Big Crit is talking about money when he describes the cutlass and the paint and the blades swinging and chopping and dragging and stuff like that. And, you know, buying clothes and jewelry and buying a chain. There's some hip-hop artists talk about buying drugs. They're avid users of drugs of all sorts. Most hip-hop artists talk about these things. Obviously, hip-hop artists talk about uniting the people and everything. But today, on I Am Heavy Cash, we're going to specifically talk about the money that is mentioned in hip-hop. Even as far as speaking to the ladies and encouraging the ladies to purchase extra parts, if you will, with the hard-earned dollars that they earn through the week or on the weekends, however they do their thing, however they earn their money, however they make an income. You guys are encouraged to buy red bottoms and Brazilian luxurious hair, which is nothing wrong with that, and extra parts. That's another topic for another day. We'll discuss that later. All this money that's spoken about in hip-hop, all making it rain, all this stuff. But I want to talk about some guys that I like to listen to. Some guys that speak a little differently about the bread. Speak a little differently about the dough. Because this is I Am Heavy Cash, so this is what we're going to talk about, the heavy cash. I want to talk about some guys like Jay-Z, like Rick Ross, like Nipsey Hussle. These guys speak a little bit differently about the cash. Now, they're in hip-hop. So obviously, in the hip-hop culture, you don't have to, but if you're engrossed and you embody the hip-hop culture, you're gonna talk about buying a whole bunch of things. That's what hip-hop artists do. But they also, these guys specifically, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, Ricky Rose, if you don't know who Rick Ross is, Ricky Rose, and Nipsey Hussle, they discuss business moves. And I'm not talking about flipping the bricks out the trap house or the bando type business moves. That's not what Don Heavy's mentioning right now. I'm talking about legit, legal business moves. Legal guys, business moves. I'm talking about acquiring companies and other entities. Jay-Z, a while ago, he said if Jesus paying LeBron, I'm paying Dwayne Wade. He's talking about, and now, before that was back in the day. Now he has a whole sports agency. Foreshadowing, maybe, I don't know. Rick Ross' fat self always talking about Wingstop, non-stop. He's always talking about Wingstop, and he's always mentioning it, and it's just, I had to go there. He was mentioning it so much. I guess that was the plan the whole time. Marketing, promotion. And I don't think he's talking about Wingstop. In fact, I know he's not talking about Wingstop just because he's fat and he loves the wings and he likes to eat. No, that's not why he's talking about Wingstop. He's talking about Wingstop like that because he owns a couple Wingstops. In his it's either Black Dollars or Black Market, he says, you know, never mind. I'm not quoting it verbatim, but never mind 100 bricks. Never mind 100 bricks. Let's flip 100 restaurants. You know, Rick Ross is talking about the money and business. And Nipsey Hussle, surprisingly, well, not surprisingly to him, but surprisingly to me, Nipsey Hussle, I don't know, I forgot what album it is, Mailbox Money, or I think it is Mailbox Money, but he talks about owning stocks. He talks about equity. He mentions equity. He talks about it in big business and mentions owning stock. And that is lovely. That is beautiful. Beautiful for a man that came from where he came from, had the beginnings such as him, but is on top of the game. All of these guys, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, Ricky Rose is included, having those beginnings and making it to where they made it to, and still going on this journey in their careers, but they're doing it the right way. They're not just spending money foolishly. Yeah, they have the cars, yeah, they have the clothes, yeah, they have the cribs, but they have businesses. They have working businesses that weren't necessarily created by them, even though Jay-Z had, you know, Rockaware and the S. Carters, but business not necessarily created by them, but they recognize a good business and they recognize good business operations. They recognize profitability and margins, and they capitalize on those situations. They have the money, yeah, let's invest. That's what they're doing. They're investing. So in hip-hop, we don't want to overlook all the other things in hip-hop, because there are a lot of other things, but these guys are talking to the people. They're talking to the hip-hop community. They're trying to teach you something. You gotta listen, guys. You gotta listen. Not a ton of hip-hop artists are on that wave, which is why they get into financial trouble in the future. But these guys, if you trace it from their respective beginnings and where they are now in their journeys, you might want to pay a little extra attention to what they're saying, because it might get you paid. And that moves Don Heavy. That moves Don Heavy into facts, in my opinion. So fact, in my opinion, number one, I bet money that Jay-Z, Rick Ross, and Nipsey Hussle will not experience any major financial hiccups in their lifetime, because these guys are phenomenal. So from here on out, they won't experience any type of financial hiccups in their lifetime. Even 50 was in that category too until he got crazy. 50 was in that category too, but then he started, he's 50, he just, I don't know. Fifth just does things a little differently. I don't know what's up with Fifth. You know, Don Heavy continues to say, I like you, Fifth. You the man. But that bankruptcy situation, that could have been, you didn't have to do that. Let's put it like that. You didn't have to do that. That could have been prevented, but it wasn't. Do better, Fifth. But anyway, facts in my opinion, number two. Some of you might not know Nipsey Hussle as a hip-hop artist. He has a very core audience, a very loyal fan base. Some of you might not know Nipsey Hussle. Y'all might have no clue. Look him up. But he's an amazing entrepreneur, and he sold a hard copy of his album once for $100 and then once for a stack. If you don't know what a stack is, a G. If you don't know what a G is, $1,000. He sold a hard copy. Well, he was selling hard copies, because he sold a couple copies of his album for $1,000. In fact, I think when he sold his album for $100, Jay-Z bought, $10,000 worth, I believe. Because he, not to mention both artists mentioned Jay-Z, so it's kind of like, I don't want to say they learned from him, but they definitely took some notes from what Hov was saying back in the day and applied it to what they're doing now. And if you listen to I Am Heavy Cash, which I hope you do, that means your money is coming up, then you know that history repeats itself. So you want to pay attention to the guys that did it the right way before you, so you can do it the right way and show some guys that's coming after you. And facts in my opinion, lastly, but not least, if that's a word, if you are not using your voice as an hip-hop artist to help the hip-hop community, then you are the problem. Point blank, period. There's nothing else to say about that. If you're not using your voice to help the hip-hop community, not just black people, not just minorities, not just black and Hispanics, not just brown people, I'm talking about the entire hip-hop community, because blacks and Hispanics, they're not the only people that don't know this. It's a lot of people that don't know how to invest. It's a lot of people that don't know about business. Well, if you're not using your voice to help the hip-hop community as a whole, then you're the issue. Straight up, Don Heavy's calling you out. You're the issue, point blank, period. And with that being said, thank you for tuning into another I Am Heavy Cash coming to you from NY to the Shy with the money man himself, Don Heavy. You already know. Check out the website, donheavy.com, and be sure to tune into another Money Talks dropping real soon, because I think Kanye Titter signed an appointment. You know what I mean? He signed up for an appointment to check in with the Don, so be on the lookout for that. And also, if you want to step your money game up the right way, just period, if you want to get your cash stacking the right way, then check out the Black Market Watch series and learn about the stock game. Nothing more to it. Everyone needs it, so get on the wave and get your money up. Once again, this is I Am Heavy Cash, the podcast. Yours truly, Don Heavy. Peace and love. I'm out.
This program is brought to you by Her Pretty Ghost and Better New Business. Thank you for tuning in.